President will stand up to our friends and foes to advance this union and its members. He has always been on the front line and will never, ever back down. Please welcome our General President, Harold Schaitberger.
Thank you. Thank you. Partner, thank you. Sisters and brothers, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And before I actually start with my prepared remarks, for those that went out to an incredible, new, innovative effort, idea to take care of our members, for those that went out to the Center of Excellence for Behavioral Health and Recovery and Treatment, what do you think? You know, have we taken another big step for the members of the IAFF? So for those that haven't had a chance, hopefully maybe you'll find your way out there. It's just absolutely an incredible place. And while we're here in Washington, D.C., it was 99 years ago last Tuesday that 36 firefighter union leaders representing independent fire unions from cities across the United States and Canada met at the old American Federation of Labor building located at 9th and Massachusetts Avenue here in Washington, D.C. And they met to chart a new day for professional firefighters across North America. They met in our nation's capital to establish the home and eventual headquarters for this International Association of Firefighters of yours. Because even back then, it was clear that the decisions that are made here in this city could have dramatic impact on our members' livelihood and their families' lives everywhere. And they also wanted to begin to harness the power to make a difference, to develop and advance a national agenda, to move our members' jobs from virtual servitude in the professional ice age at that time into a fulfilling and rewarding career. They understood even back then that if our profession were only considered a function of local government, that we would never be able to truly advance the cause, that we would never develop national standards and protocols, never eliminate continuous duty schedules that had firefighters at that time working 25, 26 days out of every month. We would never be able to truly win the dignity and the respect that our members deserve in the workplace. And today, almost a century since that great moment in our history, we've come one hell of a long way. We've built an incredible profession. We've built an incredible union, and we are now ingrained in every major decision-making government body that has an impact on our members' lives, their safety at work, their security after they finish putting their lives on the line for the community and country that they've served. That's what we've built together. And I'll tell you, each and every one of us, each and every one of you ought to be damn proud of it. We've done the work on behalf of the 304,000 members of this IAFF. Now, all of you here today, you really know how we did it. That's why you're here. We did it because over all of the years that followed that inauguration of our union, that we recognized that we had simply two choices. We could stand on the sidelines outside of the political and legislative arenas and let others dictate the future of our members' rights, wages, health care, retirements, and safety at work. Or we could take the power of our members, enter those arenas, and have an influence on who sits in every governor's mansion, in every state legislative chamber, those serving on city and county councils, as well as mayors, large cities and small alike. And who gets to hold the congressional and U.S. senatorial seats from all of the states and districts all across this nation. And look at you today, and this great IAFF. We have more than just embraced the idea of political action and legislative advocacy. We have honed our skills. We've funded our political coffers. We built tremendous influence with the most sought-after political brand, the gold and black of this IAFF. And as so many in the media and the political world have stated time and time again, including presidents of the United States, this union of ours punches way above our weight class on both of those scores, and we get things done that few other unions can match. No, I don't have to tell all of you that there has been nothing less, by the way, in these last several months. Hysteria, anger, acrimony, and anxiety, every level you can imagine following last November's election and the inauguration of Donald Trump as our 45th president. The ideological far left doesn't like anything the current president's doing or his administration. They're in a frenzy that's resulted in total opposition no matter the issue, while those on the ideological far right of the political spectrum thinks he can do no wrong. But for us, this great union of ours, we're going to continue to do what we've always done. We're going to put winning ahead of losing. We're going to put pragmatism ahead of ideology while remaining faithful to our core union principles. It means we're going to continue to find the sweet spot toward the middle, not just for political identity, and definitely not for partisan favor, but rather to position ourselves to affect outcomes that benefit our members' lives. And together, we're going to continue to follow a political and legislative strategy that will keep getting the job done for the men and women of this IAFF. That's our job. That's your job. That's the oath that we've all taken. We simply can't do anything less than do everything possible to represent our members' interests, their political future, to better their lot, to keep them working, fully staffed on every rig, to keep them safe in the dangerous environments that they operate in, to keep them healthy and equipped to do the very difficult work they've chosen in this honorable profession of ours that we call the job. And so they can also go home after every shift to their loved ones. That's our work. That's your responsibility. And we decided long ago that, we have to be in this political arena, an arena that oftentimes is ugly, it's unfair, it's disappointing. Too many times finding ourselves dealing with obnoxious government leaders that don't keep their word. Too many times them giving us lip service instead of real service, who don't really give a shit about the welfare of our members. Oh, they'll take your endorsements, they'll take our endorsements, they'll take our money and contributions in a second. They'll wrap themselves in our gold and black political brand, and they'll take countless photos with our members, their arms around them at stations, standing by their rigs, and then too often turn around and screw the wheels off of them and us. It's understandable that so many of our members distrust the system, that they become cynical about the political process, and they sometimes feel like that maybe we're really unable to make a difference. But since that incredible first convention that began on February 25th, 1918, and ended on February 28th with an AFL charter for this great IAFF, that's exactly what we've been doing. That's what you've been doing. We have been making one hell of a difference for them. And we've stepped into the ring. And we prepare to work with those with the authority who will fulfill their commitments and be honest brokers and partners with us to advance the agenda, making that difference for our members. We passed bargaining rights in 33 states while expanding bargaining in scores of cities without statewide laws. We've established presumption laws for heart and lung and cancers in 43 states, ensuring that our members who suffer from these occupational debilitating diseases are afforded the benefits and the retirements that they've earned, that they deserve. We've instituted defined benefit retirement systems and improved them with drop plans, survivor annuities, and retiree health care. We've developed safety and health programs, improved staffing, pioneered PPE to make our members' jobs safer and decrease the mortality of one of the world's most dangerous professions. And we've also been able to take a punch holding strong on the defensive front, while fiercely throwing punches to battle those who would destroy our members' retirements, abolish their bargaining rights and workplace democracy, who attempt to destroy our local unions by eliminating dues deduction and trying to eliminate our political voice with something called paycheck protection. That's the world over these many years that we found ourselves living in. And it's taken every one of us working together to continue to do our very best to prevail. And it's you, our local and state leadership together, with an unbelievable executive board and a fantastic professional staff that we have, working together, all of us, to build this union into a powerhouse and advocating for the men and women who hold an IAFF card. And over our history, we've seen many successes and good times, but we've also been through some pretty trying times, pretty dark periods, like the upheaval following the midterm 2010 elections, when it was just 6 years ago the onslaught and the assaults on us began in early 2011. It also was a time of great controversy. The Tea Party had prevailed in so many places. Hysteria, resentment, anger permeated much of the country, just as it does today. We found ourselves in so many states with so many new governors and too many state legislatures who were hell-bent on destroying us. And the attacks came from both political parties. The pressures were great, the battle lines were drawn. They were coming at all of us, all of you, from all angles, east and west, north and south. But we bucked up. We marshaled our resources. We strategically took on the opposition. And on so many fronts, in so many cases, often against all odds, we prevailed, winning a hell of a lot more than we lost. And here today, this week, this year, this Congress, this president, in another time of great controversy, we are not going to let ourselves be affected by the unrest in the streets, the rancor and the grave divides that sadly seem to be separating this country in so many ways. We're going to keep our focus, and we're going to do our work. And of course we see and feel that anger, and it pervades all across the red states and blue states. We've certainly witnessed that anger and divide over the last several months right here in this town that this union calls home. And we recognize that all of us, our members and their families, as citizens of this great nation, everyone has their own political allegiances and alliances and preferences. We embrace our many religions and faiths. We are ethnically diverse. We welcome all races, preferences, and identities. Within our ranks, there are many different personal views, varied cultural options, and mixed feelings on what our society should be and what our governments should provide. And our individual backgrounds, spanning from some that experience financial success and great comfort to so many that found themselves growing up in financial challenges and sometimes despair. That's who we are. That's who you are. You're almost a perfect cross-section of America and the citizens of this great nation. So of course, within our own sister and brotherhood, we have a disparity of beliefs and conflicts of opinion. And yes, it can create division among our ranks. But make no mistake, as leaders of this union, all of us entrusted to represent our members, we don't have the luxury just to be divided. We simply have to focus on the issues that affect our members' jobs, financial futures, their safety, their health. That, again, that's our job. And we've got to do it regardless of the political atmosphere that's taking place at any one point in time. And that's why you're here this week. It's why we will be today and tomorrow. It's why we'll be doing everything we can throughout the year. That's the job of leadership. in this IAFF at all levels, every one of you. And today, the program, as Kevin described, I think it's simply a testament to the political principle that has served us so well, that serves as the core of our values. That we don't care if you have a D, an R, or an I behind your name. We really don't care what political label you have. We never have. Today's conference agenda reflects that diversity of interest and party. It isn't that Secretary Chow is going to be here with us just to give a speech. It's that we work closely with her to improve the lives of firefighters when she was the Secretary of Labor, and we will do that same with her now in her leading role with the Department of Transportation. It's because of a relationship with our General Secretary Treasurer, Ed Kelly, that we'll work with General Kelly as Secretary of DHS to resource our members' departments, to prepare our communities for all hazard responses, and we'll do it just as we have with every DHS secretary in its history, starting with Tom Ridge, a governor of Pennsylvania. With the senators and members of Congress that you're going to hear from today, from both political parties, we'll work with them, and they will work with us to advance our agendas. Senator Claire McCaskill, she'll be taking the lead on SAFER for us. Ranking Member Bobby Scott will be our champion on collective bargaining and labor issues. Senators Duckworth and Cortez Bastos are on the committee that will address our cancer registry. The same applies to Governor Cooper, Mayors Bowser and Berry, standing with our leadership and our members. And I'm also very proud that the new DNC chair, Tom Perez, is coming today, because this IAFF will work with him to ensure that Democrats start embracing and supporting all union members and every working class and this great middle class of America once again. And let me just deviate, if I may, for a minute on another reality. Unfortunately, some in this labor movement that we belong to, they don't like the way we do our political business. They don't like the way you do your political business. There are those who criticize us internally and externally, and who will ask if we are, or accuse us of not being a real trade union. And what I say to them is, who the hell are you to question us? We are one damn proud and bold union. And we have marched in the streets in Madison with our brothers and sisters. And we've done it in every sector of our country. A trade union? We sacrificed our own collective bargaining bill in the spring of 2010 to step aside for the greater good of the broader labor movement so that they could pursue the Employee Free Choice Act. We helped lead the fight against bad trade bills like TPA and TPP that didn't directly affect us. And by God, we don't have to apologize for anybody in this movement for what we do, because we stand tall and we stand with all workers, and we always have and we always will. Now, I got to tell you though, but sadly and candidly, there are too many in the labor movement of ours that seem to ignore this solidarity that we've stood for. They criticize us because we play on both sides of the political aisle. They think just lining up with one party, the Democratic Party, is the only mindset that a real union leader should have, that working with anyone from the Republican side of the aisle is a sin. And to those who criticize, I tell you what I say to them: Why don't you take a page out of our book and learn to win for a change? Now, listen, none of us are ignorant. I like to think I'm not. I know there's one party historically that's been certainly more supportive and more union worker friendly over time. Of course, I know that's the Democratic Party. But that's also the party that controlled many state houses over many decades. And in 21 states, all controlled by Democrats, never gave our members collective bargaining rights, and in 2 of those states, outlawed it. It's also been a party in too many cities that I've watched mayors that closed stations, reduced staffing, browned out companies, tiered our pension plans, eliminated our retirement health care plans while attacking our leadership, you, and too often our contracts where we have them. So no, we're not just going to align ourselves with one political party, be it Democrats or Republicans. We don't have the luxury of just sitting on some utopian principle about how things should be. To do our job right, we have to position ourselves and make sure that we get the business done on our members' behalf. We have to align ourselves with those that support our cause. And that, you got to understand, that we need to recognize that we need to simply support our members and do whatever it takes on their behalf. Bottom line is we got to do whatever it takes to succeed. It's not about ideology. It's about winning. It's about success. And so while those and other unions align their deck chairs solely on the decks of maybe one political party and finding themselves somehow continuing to sink, and while far too many of our brother and sister unions find themselves on the extreme ideological fringes of the political landscape, while they continue to lose members, influence, relevance, and powers, this IAFF of yours, this IAFF has remained strong, vibrant, and growing every single year, every single quarter. And because of our nonpartisan approach, we'll continue to succeed because of you. You being here, you going home to follow up, you making the investments in our political work at all levels. That's our solemn and sworn duty, to get things done, to do them on behalf of health and safety, cancer, bargaining rights, benefits, and protecting our members' jobs. So as we witness so many demonstrators that are chanting resist in the streets and at town halls, and joined by many members of Congress on Capitol Hill doing the same, we're also going to resist. But we're not going to resist a president or one party. No, we're going to focus and we're going to resist those that are once again trying to turn the clock back on us. And we're going to resist those in Congress who are attacking our federal members. And we're going to resist those in so many states that are attacking our pensions. And we're going to resist those that try to kneecap us with dues deduction and paycheck protection bills. Now, 6 years ago, we fought back against those same attacks. And here we are today, larger and more members than ever, because we never gave in, we never gave up, we found a way to succeed, we found a way to grow, and we are stronger than ever before because of all of you. So whether it's in Kentucky or in Iowa, whether it's in New Hampshire or Connecticut, whether it's in Missouri or Nebraska or Tennessee, you bet your ass we'll resist. And we will fight back, standing unified in solidarity, because that's who we are. We are fighters. Yeah, we'll take a punch and we'll throw a hell of a punch. And we'll step into the ring, willing to take on anyone who tries to get in our damn way and go after our members or hurt our families or our retirements. And for those that suggest that we're living in some alternative universe, a dream world, who believe we can't do business with this new president and administration, I simply say, look at the past, which I believe will be prologue. History has proven if we do our work, We can make that difference, no matter who resides in the White House or what party is in control of Congress. The original PSOB bill, which now provides $343,000 to the families and dependents of those from our rank who were killed in the line of duty, it was passed by Congress and signed into law by Republican President Gerald Ford. It was the Reagan administration and a Republican-controlled Senate that passed the provisions to the Fair Labor Standards Act that extended overtime rights for our profession and established the 7K regulations that made it possible for our members to now have earned hundreds of billions of dollars of overtime since. And it was the same Congress and President Reagan that passed and signed a law to prohibit contracting out of our federal firefighters' jobs at DOD installations. It was during the Bush administration with a Republican House and Senate that we originally passed the SAFER Act that's provided billions of dollars to local governments, creating and saving tens of thousands of jobs of and for our members. And that same Republican Congress and administration passed the Fire Act that's put billions of more dollars in our fire departments for equipment and apparatus and personal protective gear. And in an Oval Office ceremony, with me privileged on your behalf to stand over the shoulder after we had supported Al Gore in 2000 and John Kerry in 2004 trying to beat him, President Bush expanded PSOB to include heart attacks and strokes with the stroke of his pen. My point is, regardless of who's in the White House or is in control of Congress and our federal government, we have always found a path to succeed, even during the most politically difficult environments. And that's why you are here and you will be hitting Capitol Hill tomorrow. That's why I know that you'll lobby against a Congress that's shown an interest in trying to remove the tax status for our health care premiums and plans. That's why we'll begin the great journey once again to guarantee national collective bargaining rights for every IAFF member in every state in this country. And those that think it's politically naive to think we can do it, I say, watch us. We're on this journey and we're going to get it done. It's with our proven track record and with your work that we'll prevail in our march. We'll prevail in that march to establish a cancer registry that will help the science, clinical, and medical communities to better detect, prevent, and then to allow better treatments of cancers that are such a horrendous scourge in our profession right now and growing. And I know when you leave here this week, we'll have added hundreds of more co-sponsors to the almost 100 current sponsors of H.R. 931. And we are going to pass that bill. We're going to pass it this year, and we're going to put it on President Trump's desk for him to sign into law. That's what we'll get done this week. Now, your responsibility is to go up and engage. It's going to be your work that's going to determine whether we reauthorize the SAFER and FIRE Acts to ensure that they don't go extinct on January 1, 2018, saving and creating, by doing your work, thousands and thousands of more of our members' jobs over the next several years. That's in your hands. And we'll succeed, and we'll make all of this happen when a Republican-controlled Congress with a Republican-controlled Senate, and we'll do it with a president named Trump. So I say to you, let's get to work, let's get busy, let's storm Capitol Hill, and let's do it all on behalf of the men and women we're privileged to represent. God bless you. God bless all of those on the front lines everywhere, and God bless this IAFF. Thank you.